we're all gonna die. Fucking make it fun. That's it. Like, don't be afraid to be happy.
Maybe you met a mentor or who became your mentor, or maybe there were some incidents in your life that steered you one way or another.
I mean, obviously, definitely my parents growing up, and just like any kid, like I learned, especially now that I look back, there's a lot of things that are like, I want to do the same thing. I want to be the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are things where like, I don't ever want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Like every kid has that. So that's the obvious. I'm struggling otherwise to come up with actual people who have, well, okay. Um, an ex-girlfriend. Um, and this was forever ago. Like it's the age when you just start dating. Um, and I had like a couple relationships or whatever you want to call them at the time. I was all just full of like stress and I don't know, like it was just shitty. And I almost thought that that's what it should be like. Uh, and then when I was going out with this girl, everything just became easy, kind of like, hey, like I remember like as a girl we broke up without ever having a fight. And we grow up because like we were never going to be together with different stages of our lives and that was ever going to work out. But like there I met someone who like would flat out ask specific question, like wasn't afraid, wasn't beating around the bush, wasn't I want to say it was being a man in the relationship. But no, it was just very upfront, honest, and chilled, laid back. And that made me realize, even though like that didn't work out as a relationship, like we stayed good friends afterwards, but um made me realize like, yeah, like people like this exist.
Mm-hmm.
So now I know what's a must have for me in a relationship. So that definitely helped shape me in that aspect, in that perspective.
So basically, don't have a tunnel vision given one snapshot of what it can be.
Correct.
What
That took
what
it.
kind of coming back from this? What are the keys for healthy, happy relationship at this moment of your life?
To me, to be stress free as much as it's possible, to have a home. And when I say home, I don't mean a house, I mean a home, a place where you feel safe, where it's your space and obviously person or people you live with. And you know you can come there at any time and find peace and quiet. To me, that's it. That's that's something that really is part of personality. That's either there or not. Uh, Everything else, like any other issues that arise, we can work on them, we can figure them out. But that personality match, that whether you both look at things the same way in terms of like, hey, chill, like life's good, let's be happy, let's enjoy life, or whether it's like constant stress, constant pressure, constant discussions about this and that. That's your personality. That's something you're born with.
Mm-hmm.
And again, coming from experience, that's not something that can change one way or another. At least I don't think it can. So
Okay. Um, I'll throw a curveball at you, and you feel like make a decision whether to respond or not, and whatever, I guess, depth for that question or not. Have you ever done psychedelics in life?
I'm sorry.
Have you ever done psychedelics in your life?
I don't know what that is. I guess that answers your question, but I would like to know what that is.
Psychedelics, the substances that alter your thinking or visuals that you see, and that typically, uh, on top of that, you get a very deep introspective state of thinking where you would find answers to your questions, or you would resolve some traumas or
Is
problems that
is
you
it
have.
is it like a drug that temporarily
Yeah, it's
will?
temporary.
No.
So the effects are long lasting, like they can last forever as far as your realizations. As far as the
Sure.
visuals and what's called high, that or trip, that lasts anywhere between, I don't know, 5 minutes to 3, 4 hours.
No, I mean I ate pot infused gummy bears.
Nah.
No, I figure I know that's not it, but I'm listing the drugs that I've done.
Okay. Um,
No.
yeah. So, like, I'm not a drug person per se, or um, suggesting anybody or myself included. But if I would take anything, it would be psychedelics, because they give you that. It's like you have a conversation with a mentor that nobody is listening other than you, only you and that person in that room. And you can basically pose any question and get a universal answer for that
Mhm.
question. And you not losing sense of time. No, time may or may not go away, but sense of understanding that, like, you're not drunk type of thing. You
Mhm.
conscious, you know where you are. You don't see it the same way like you would see it during daytime, but you know where you are. You don't lose presence in life per se. You just see different things, and you have thoughts that come out of nowhere to answer your questions.
Okay. Oh, I've never even heard of it, honestly. I'm gonna Google it after this.
um, to help you with Googling, psychedelics usually are magic mushrooms. They are
Oh,
natural mushrooms that grow out there, and some of them are species that actually give you that psycho trip.
okay, okay. You should have just said shrooms. I know what that is.
Okay, have you taken
I
those?
actually did. I actually did take that once,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and it had absolutely zero effect on me. Like nothing changed.
Yeah, it
Not,
could be
not.
the dosage. Could
It
be
could
like,
be that. It could
you
be
said you
that
220, right? So maybe you have to take like double of those that you taken.
possible.
Yeah.
Very possible. Like I didn't know any of that. I took. I almost think it was something that I drank.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I know like I was expecting it to do something. It literally did not change the slightest thing for me at any point.
For me, my experience is that I might have to like stare like a painting or something, or some sort of kind of lose yourself type of object,
Okay.
that you actually start lose yourself. Um, like if you just blindly look at the wall and there is nothing to focus your attention, I think it will be a bit harder to enter that state. But once you have like a shapes and colors and kind of movement almost in
Mm-hmm.
something, you're like, oh, okay, I see a movie. Oh, I'm making this movie.
Maybe. Okay.
But Amsterdam obviously have a lot of um, opportunity to try those. And I've tried what we later realized was called truffles. Seems like it was like synthetic mushrooms. Basically, they grow them artificially somehow. And
Mm-hmm.
it was like, I took the heavy species, and it hit me hard. And girlfriend, she took something a bit milder, maybe, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe small dose, whatever. But she was having good time. I was having like trip.
Okay.
And by the way, realizations were not as good as natural mushrooms that I took in before. Anyways, switching subject.
All right.
We on the final stretch. You see the finish line almost, Bunny. And by the way, I really appreciate your time.
Anytime,
Uh,
man.
Mistakes that you've made in your life.
Not obviously. Um, I'm trying to think. Here's the thing. I'm gonna go a little philosophical on you. There's a lot of things that were mistakes. right? That I've done this or that and I shouldn't have done it. However, had it not been for those mistakes, I wouldn't have been where I am today, one way or another, in some way, shape, or form. And where I am today, I'm very happy. And if I look at where I am today and what I have today, and if, let's say, someone offered me to correct a mistake from the past, but couldn't guarantee that I'll keep what I have today, I would repeat the same mistake, because it's what's today that counts. It's what I can build on. So I can sit here and list some of the things that I thought were extremely dumb at the time, but I wouldn't have changed any of them because they took me where I'm at right now.
I would echo the same. It seems like in my mind, unless the situation that mistake is taking place is intrinsically dangerous, only those mistakes perhaps you don't want to relive. But they
Mhm.
still teach you something, like you survive ultimately. But what if you have 50-50 chance or small chance? That's probably might be another mistake to go through. But life teaches you through those mistakes if you give it analysis and such and grow from them. But yeah, I can echo the same.
Yeah,
And what you said multiple times in this discussion is that it wouldn't matter XYZ if 5 years from now you would look at it and you laugh about it, right? So we can
exactly.
talk about it as far as mistakes as well. And the last one, advices to young generation, or maybe people who just seeking some knowledge or wisdom or find a solution to their what they're going through. It's for them to answer, but what are your advices? Like top 5, top 3?
Um, I I'm gonna quote this. I don't know. I forgot who said it, but I'm not taking credit for it. Um, I'm gonna try to remember it word for word, and I might be off, so don't. Um, you can ignore the reality, but you can never ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. Um, very true. Extreme, and you can apply it anywhere. Like I can apply it to certain aspects of my life. I know people who can apply it in theirs. Very true, 100%. And another thing is like, we're all gonna die. Fucking make it fun. That's it. Like, don't be afraid to be happy, because some people are.
Cool. Vanya, shake your hand virtually. It's good to see a good friend of mine. Uh, Although we're not always in the contact frequently, but in my view, that's how you know it's a good friend of yours, is that you might be off radar for like a year or two, but then you don't even have to start the sentences with like, hey man, hope you had a good year or so. You can just say straight up like, hey man, let's go for a beer or let's talk or whatever. Like you don't have to have a special
No,
intro to rejuvenate whatever was your past experience.
no, you pick up where you left off. And it's funny, I don't know how, I don't know if you heard the noise. My phone just started to play something that's called Shake Your Hand. And then, yeah, I don't even like look. No, it's Shake Your Head, but was. I don't know what this is. And then they say they're
It
not
could be
listening to
Siri.
you.
It could be Siri.
It could be, but no one said, "Hey Siri," or maybe someone. Maybe you can rewind it in your podcast and figure it out.
I think it happened to me a couple of times this year. Is that yeah, out of the blue, just start doing stuff without
Yeah.
using the "Hey Siri" phrase is just odd. But
Yep. Yep.
all right,
Totally.
well, I greatly enjoyed this, and until next time, and good luck with everything that happens in life.
Same here. Thank you, man. It was a pleasure, and hope to see you soon somewhere.
We'll see each other in Europe in spring for sure.
Awesome. Let me know when you're here, man.
Later.